Hello. All right. Yeah. Do you agree that there's a lot of tramps in society and that you come close to many of said mentalities where this energy is something you're having a hard time avoiding because it's in the supermarkets, it's everywhere. In the intersections, when you're driving, you can feel Satan in the cars. You just have this mental passage in your brain that is such a gift where you just feel people's energy, or you can read their auras or something. I want to encourage you to keep your eyes straight ahead and don't get boggled down by your insights, by your overthinking, by the premonitions you get. I want you to back enough from out of that and see rising above it how your purpose in life is so much more than your foretelling of people's futures and that ability you have. Your gift in life to yourself is to experience joy day to day and not assume things that derives negativity. See, people lack sophistication and social graces, as well as gratitude, in addition to making loyal and true commitments to the things that are right. Therefore, the society around you is filled with ugly hearts because everybody is a taker. And they really are seeking satisfaction and more pleasure when only you feel sucked. And so when you're getting these heavy revies or heavy revelations, mind you, and you can't do anything about the system, you have to permit your soul this purpose of life for joy. Alright, the way the system is, people want to see you dead in the street. So why bother reading their energies when you're driving? If the people do not want to see you dead in the streets, they want to see you with your legs spread out because it is a pornographic and pedophilic society of predator and perpetrator to do harm to you. Folks are in the business of making opportunities for themselves and gaining assets and investments for themselves by exploiting your gift of being sensitive. This is why you have to pull away from these moments and free yourself. People are sad because they have pledged to the power of materialism to feed off of their lusts and to get a soft space in your heart where they can gain power over you due to fooling you on behalf of marketing to your lusts. This is the whole advertisement industry. So why be bothered ascertaining power with this type of wild beast? When you go to people assuming that they want to trust, but they're not capable of trusting, you've created idolatry when your hopes and dreams ought to be towards spiritual things that don't necessarily depend as codependents on these relationships where there's even give and take, although there's more takers than givers. Trust is often breached between people. That's why folks aren't married. That's why people don't like their bosses. All right? It's a fuck you society. Yeah? So, in the self-inflated human heart that we all have, be very conscientious of reducing your involvement with a secular, even humanist society where people are giving money to charities just to pat themselves on the back, but really they're not happy. It's a culture of manipulation. It's a culture of whining. People have intentionally wronged others to reach power. So when you get into the enmeshed friendships and relationships, you have to be ready to be striped after all the flattery, okay, which is totally motivated by vanity to get something out of you. I want you to be very cautious that as you walk humbly and wise, that you don't grow needy, because the energy out there is still nothing that you want to thrive off of, because it sucks you of your joy. One of the areas that you must be very attuned to in this soulish path that we all live is how to finance your money. That can decrease much of your pain and anxiety by taking self-discipline actions in your own hands and not expecting a confidant to come along and ease you along and stand by your side, but to take on the empowerment and independence to put aside that sin of shopping, learning to live with less. This does not mean that it is okay for your Congress to cheat you out, like through Monsanto, food, protection bill, and all this. The corruption of our democratic institutions in our environments. Be very interested to know that within the landscape of obnoxious pigs, that there's enticing stratagems of trickery, and you have to be self-protected by preserving your joy in yourself. Because your own energy of things that you get attached to will even stand in your way and will walk all over that certain space inside you that's designated for joy and love. When you stand up for yourself, you're obviously called a bitch, and people want to know that they can play you. Be conscientious again of that, because this is an infractured element to your joy. A lot of the ways of a sinful society is to destroy innocence, because it's based on hateful people that don't know how to expand, so they become violent, and they gain power over you because you might be a non-fighter. This satanic theme is going to be always walking through your entire life. So, one thing that's come out is this opportunity in May 2013 to tell your Congress that you want to repeal the Monsanto Protection Act. If you don't know a lot about Monsanto, M-O-N-S-A-N-T-O, please do a search. An amendment to repeal the Monsanto Protection Act, could be introduced in Congress by Senator Jeff Merkley during the Farm Bill debate, and we need your help to make sure this blatant corporate handout is no longer law. This is part of sucking you dry as an intuitive person, thinking that your government has little sweet handouts for you, and so you're letting them, through the passage of the Monsanto Protection Act, simply become the last straw for many millions of Americans and citizens worldwide that are outraged over the continued corruption of our democratic institutions, the contamination of our environment, and Monsanto's relentless march to take over our food supply. Your joy, I want you to know, is derivative of the healthy food that you eat, and also managing your money. So, this dangerous provision to protect Monsanto is going to strip judges of their constitutional mandate to protect consumer and farmer rights and the environment, while opening up the floodgates for the planting of new, untested, genetically engineered crops, endangering farmers, citizens, and the environment. Just a case in point, that when we discuss corruption and things that are facing us, Monsanto is a prime example. But most foolish hearts in your day-to-day society are oblivious to this. So I want you to be very conscientious of your humane life sustainability, protecting your joy as an honest citizen of the United States of America.